How are you, right? How are you? How are you?
I'm good.
Thank,
I'm good, you
thank you
know.
for inviting me on the show. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me because I tell you what, you have been shining out. I tell you for your exceptional work in our community, and we need you. We really, really do. We really, really do.
Thank
And
you.
you're making me proud, and the rest of the UK. Seriously,
No, thank you.
you really, really are.
Do you know what it is? Like the thing that's gone viral, like the speech, etc. It was just like a moment from my heart. I just thought that
Yeah,
everyone's saying that Black Lives Matters, etc., etc. But I just think, as Black people, especially Black young people, we just really, really need to embody that sort of thing and stop the violence and killing each other as well. If we actually mean Black Lives
exactly.
Matters, you
Yeah,
can't just be like
exactly. Yeah.
you can't just be we're marching and protesting when the police kill us, but then when we kill each other, it's like just turn a blind eye sort of thing.
No, exactly. Because there's so like too many of our young people are dying. It's literally it's heartbreaking, you know.
Yeah, no, it literally is. So, and do you know what it is? Well, a lot of the people they would have had such like bright futures. It's not even like from 10 years of working with young people. It's not what people think like they're all just uneducated and nothing like that. A lot of the people they just mix into the wrong crowds, etc. They have so many things going for them, but then they get caught up into that sort of lifestyle, and they've ended up either they themselves have killed someone or hurt someone, so they go in prison, or someone's killed them or badly hurt them, and all that talent just gone to waste. It's such a shame.
I know it's sad, but I do believe with the right people coming together, the right message is something that
Yeah,
we can change.
yeah, that's what
I
I believe.
believe that
Yeah,
wholeheartedly that we can do it.
that's what I believe as well. I think that we live in a time where a lot of adults or a lot of older people, I say, they've kind of given up on young people, and they
Mhm.
think they're beyond help. They just think, look at them, they're beyond help. But
Mm.
I'm like you as well. I don't believe they're beyond help. I believe that with the right help and the right guidance, we can steer
Mhm.
them in the right direction. They're still young at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
they just need guidance from older people, not like a cold shoulder.
Yeah, no,
That's one of the things.
exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. Now, what exactly is it that you do and the services that you offer to young people?
Oh, so for me in particular, I'm not a like organization or anything like that. Me myself, I work. So what I've done for the last 10 years, I've been working with young people in various different settings. So I used to work in East London with organization, and we used to help children that were in gangs, and especially
Wow.
in East London, there was two like main gangs, and there was a big rivalry, a lot of shooting and stuff. So we tried to work a lot with those gangs, trying to bring peace between them, etc. They tried to steer those kids education and back into school with the ones that wasn't, and the older ones, we tried to steer them into jobs and get them off the street. That was just me, my individual, like working for the organization. So I did it for a few years, and
Wow.
then I worked in primary school. So I moved to Northwest London. I worked in a primary school in Northwest London with children that have a lot of like behavioural difficulties,
Hmm.
partly to do with themselves, partly to do with like their family backgrounds, etc. And even though they were very small, unfortunately, they were exposed to a lot of like they seen a lot of violence, sexual things. So the things that they know about and the things they talked about and the things they did were way beyond their years. They should have never been
Hmm.
exposed to that. And now, currently, at the moment, I work in an all boys secondary school in South London, but it's for children who've been kicked out of mainstream school.
Wow.
So a lot of those children they've been to several different mainstream schools and they've been kicked out. So they've come to my school. So what I do now there is mainly helping them with their education, or a lot with their like social and emotional skills.
Hmm.
So a lot of them, either due to their background or maybe due to some like mental illness, etc., they don't really have those social emotional skills, which means it's easier for them then to get into trouble because they
Hmm.
struggle to deal with like their anger and emotions. And obviously, people who see them on the outside, you will never be able to tell. They have all these things going on in their head and their backgrounds. You would just think, oh, they're naughty children, but really they're far from that. They just need help and guidance and have a lot of things. So that's currently what I'm doing. A lot of people they think I'm some organization, not it's me by myself. Then I work
You're doing
in an
so
organization,
much, though. Seriously, you really,
and they're like,
really are. I want to big you up again. Like now, I found
thank
out
you.
even more about you and what you're doing. And like I said,
Thank
we
you.
need you out here. And I
And I'll
know
do.
I'm with you. Whatever you are pushing, I am with you. Okay.
No.
And I
So
will
yeah,
fully
but
promote anything that you do.
no, yeah, for the last, well, when I worked with the children, like, for the last 10 years in all the different settings I've been in, because I'm originally from South London, but then I moved to East London, North West London. So all the children that I've come across that
Yeah.
I've worked with, uh, all those children, a lot of them are like inner city kids, a lot of black kids, I would say, boys, but also a lot of like white children, Turkish, all different types of children. But a lot of them from like street sort of backgrounds. So a lot of those children, one of the things I always try to push and promote with them that there's another way, a better way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the children, often they don't really think there is another way or a better way. Especially some of the ones I work with who've been kicked out of school a lot. When they've been kicked out of school, a lot they seem to think that they're beyond getting any qualifications, so they think they might as well just go on the street and make money because they think there's
Oh,
no way out.
yeah.
So it's trying to show them that you can do it, and even if you haven't got, even if you seem academically you're not the brightest person, there's so many other things you can do. There's so many other skills that you can use. You could be a barber, you could be a mechanic, a laborer. So many other skills. It's not all this book skills, book skills, book skills.
Yeah.
They're trying to a lot of the young black people or whatever as well, trying to say to them that they can be more than just like I don't know, a footballer, a dancer, a rapper. Because if you want
There's
to do
more
that,
to
it's
that.
up to you. But I think that when I have a lot of young black people, they're not really encouraged to do other things. So
Hmm.
often a lot of them are encouraged to do sport or music,
Yeah.
something to do with that, or hairdressing. They're not really encouraged to let their other talents flourish. So some of them are good at science, good at IT. So I
Yeah.
try to say, let your talents flourish. You don't have to all be the next Jay-Z. Or do you understand? You can be something else as well.
Yeah. No, how great, like great advice as well for them. Now, if somebody wanted to do what you do, what advice would
Yeah.
you give them to get started and get into it?
Do you know what I would say? How I got into working with young people is the most bizarre thing. So I've been married for 12 years and have 4 kids. But when I first got married,
Oh, big up.
me and my wife used to work together uh, in a retail shop. And then we moved to East London. So when I moved to East London, I used to walk past organization. And I said, I see a lot of young people go in there. So I said to my wife, it looks like it's a youth centre. And then I was like, but I don't really know if I could work with young people. She encouraged me. So one day, I just walked in there. I just walked in there, and then I started speaking to one of the people that work there. And then he said, hold on, let me get someone else to come downstairs and talk to you. And then I didn't know that both of the people I was speaking to, they were the managers. They owned the organization. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And then they just gave me the job on the spot. I didn't know that. So what I would have told a lot
Oh,
of people
sick.
is just look for any place like wherever you live that works with young people, and literally just go there and talk to them. Because most organizations that work with young people, they always need help. Even if it starts on a voluntary basis or whatever, then it turns permanent. They always need help because, so like I said, so many adults have given up on young people that they're desperate for help. Normally, any place you Google that works with young people, if you turn up there and you go there, you talk to them and they like you, they will invite you back or they'll give you application form definitely because they're normally places where they never have enough staff. Because a lot of people think,
Mm,
I don't want to work with these kids. They're rude, they're
mm.
feisty, they're not worth
It's hard.
helping. So yeah, that's what I would really encourage people just to go there because normally, then if you go to those organizations, they will then be able to tell you if you need to get this sort of skills, this sort of qualification. And most of those organizations, they're actually good at helping people to get the right qualifications or training that they need.
Yeah.
So yeah, just go there. I would say literally just go to any organization that helps young people, turn up, talk to them, and I guarantee you they'll invite you back 100%.
That's
That
some
that
great advice. Thank you for
that's
sharing
all.
that. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Just want to shout out a few of the people up on the live. We've got Hazel Brown. I know he does quite a lot of interviews for Black Lives
Just big
Matters.
yourself up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Task One as well, who are doing exceptional work in the community. Farron as well, Farron Alex Paul. Big up
Now
for what you're doing as well.
there's so many people doing so many things in the community. There really, really are. So
Yeah,
many people.
that's why I
I
started
think
Let the Youth Live. That's exactly why I started it, because I
Yeah.
was already doing Best in Britain show,
Okay.
and I was seeing, and that was started because I didn't like what was being pushed out in the music scene. So I
Yes.
spread music, positive artists,
I really.
spread it all my music. And I
It's so
think you would
funny.
like, I think you would like my music, because I know I've seen a clip where you say you don't really listen because of the
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. Well, recently I've spoken to a lot of people. I said, look, I said, for me personally, as an individual, a lot of like, I said, me myself, I don't really listen to music, but obviously, if you work with the kids for the last 10 years, I've heard a lot of the music that they listen to, the young people, and
Yeah,
the music that I've heard them listening to, a lot of like the rap, the drill, grime, the dancehall, the music that they like. I
yeah,
say personally, I find it to have a lot of negative messages in there. Now, a
yeah,
lot of people they
there
say,
is.
"Oh, it doesn't." A lot of people they
Yeah,
misunderstand me. They think that I'm saying, "Oh, drill and stuff encourages violence, makes people violent." I said, I'm not a psychologist, so I can't say if that music makes you
no,
violent or
yeah.
not.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say to you that when you listen to that type of music, is it positive messages or negative messages? So I said, for example, if you take drill or rap, not all of it, but majority of it, that the young people, especially the inner city youth that they listen to, a lot of it you'll see has a lot of degrading women. So a
Yeah,
lot of the children from that music, it's not really anything to do with positive, bigging women up. It's just saying, oh,
no,
they're hoes, sleep with them, use them, abuse them. There's
yeah,
nothing really. If you see the videos, the women aren't really respected. Even the artists that do it, they themselves always happen to be half naked. Like they're reduced down to like dancers themselves.
yeah,
Like it's,
yeah,
and then I said then also I said it promotes. So I said the videos themselves promote a lot of violence, and they talk about a lot of violence.
yeah,
And sometimes the violence they talk about is violence they've actually done to other people, or the violence they actually
exactly.
want to do.
Yep.
So I say
Mm-hmm.
to people, if it makes you violent or not, that's a separate conversation. But does it talk about violence? Yeah. And don't, when young people listen to it, sometimes in their head, it's glamorizing it. A lot of people say
Yes,
talking
yeah,
about, a lot of people they say about talking about the reality. But I said that why do you need to talk about the reality to people who already live it? They already know that reality. The people
exactly.
you're talking to already know it. They live it day and night. And how many people have come before that have already told them about the reality? And I said, there's a difference between me saying somebody got stabbed and me saying I want to stab someone. They're two
Yeah,
different things.
totally.
I said,
Yeah,
and there's ways of saying it. So there's a mum and a child died. She's telling you about it, and then there's someone making a song, and the way how they're doing it is in a glorified way. And I
yeah,
said, I think anyone can tell that. And then I said also as well, like for me myself, the lot of the music in that, what it glorifies as well, it glorifies them like just squandering of just money on silly things. Because what I
mm-hmm.
found myself, being in the black community, we need to we're a community that don't really have that much money compared to other communities. So what
Yeah,
we need to do with our money is less on like big chains and just throwing it around on a Mercedes Benz, and more on like investing in our community,
invested.
build our
Yep,
community up. Like when you see those videos and that, it's just like literally just people just squandering cash. And I said, the young people that are watching that has an effect on them in terms
yeah,
of
of
them
course.
thinking, what should they do with their own money? Um, I said, literally, and I said also as well, for me myself, it just talks about a lot of like the language of vulgar, and these are a lot of the N words sometimes, which I
Yeah,
personally don't understand. What's the point of using the N word when people
uh-huh.
died so people couldn't say that? It doesn't make
Uh-huh.
sense. Even though some people say it's empowering people, to me, it doesn't really make sense because you're using something that people died, they literally died so people could not say that word. And then
I
now
know.
you're using it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
make songs. So I'm black, I make songs in the N word. And then I say, oh, all the white kids and all the white people, Arab people, listening to my song, I don't want you to say the N word.
Yeah,
Or okay for you to say when you're singing my song, but not afterwards. So I said that it doesn't make sense. You
no,
can't tell people that. It's
no.
either you as a community say, we don't like this word, please don't use this word against us, we will not use it. A clear
Yeah, I
message.
wish that does
Or
happen.
yeah, because for example, I've seen maybe the kid's white or Arab. He hangs around with black kids. They listen to this music, he listens to that music. Then the song comes on with the N word, and then maybe he says it, people are like, well, you say you shouldn't say it. Well, it doesn't make sense. It's in the song, he likes it. Or maybe with those group of black people, he says it, they're fine with it. So then this person now thinks it's fine to say the N-word around any type of black people. Then he says it in another setting of black people, they get upset. So I said the message to do with that, like when that part of the music, it's just confusing. So my thing is, black people died in the past for people not to say that word, so don't say it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, also myself personally, I said that music, what it promotes as well, is a lot of criminality. So we know, this is what I say to you, it doesn't make sense. As black people, we are more likely to get arrested, more likely to get imprisoned. Now we know that's to do with racism, but because we know that is happening, there's no point promoting to young people criminality as
Yeah.
a way out, because it doesn't make sense. We already know we're likely to get more arrested and picked up. And now the lot of the music, what does it promote? Living in a bando, man's got a whap, I got racks, I'm shot in, making money. So I said, it doesn't mean, I'm not saying kids are going to be criminals because of it, but you're not promoting to the children anything sensible.
Yeah.
If I'm a parent and I'm my 13-year-old listening to this, I'm thinking, do I really want my 13-year-old son, who's already more likely to get arrested by police and that, to be listening to messages day and night that's telling him sort of like, go shop, go rob people. So I'm a parent, I'm trying to encourage him to learn, do his maths and that, but every day he's listening to music that's telling him the opposite. They're telling him to go to the street, go, this is how make money. So my thing is that when it comes to the music thing, a lot of the music young people listen to, that's why I don't really like it. And I think those artists who make it, I say because they're artists, and the kids say to me they're very creative. So my thing is, why can't they just make positive music? So I'm not saying to them, because they might say, look, I need to make money, this I'm making money. Okay, fine. So you're an artist, you make music, you must be a creative individual. So since you're a creative individual, you can make positive things. So when the kids listen to it, it gives them aspirations for a bigger goal.
Yes.
And it kind of, if you're saying you're talking about reality, so your reality as an artist was that is around a lot of young people, especially black young people involved in crime and drugs, then do something positive. So when those kids listen to it, they can see a different way out, another avenue.
Yeah. And that's what's
another
needed,
way.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I say a lot of those people,
I was just going to say, I want to big up Fire. Oh, hang on. Hang on. You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, can you see me? Hello?
Yeah. I can see you, but you're not moving.
Oh, sorry.
Right. I was just going to say, I wanted to big up Fire of Truth, London Open TV, locked in. He's saying about the N-word, that people do get upset when it's said, and because we don't own the music industry.
Yeah, that's something that's something I tried to explain to a lot of people, that a lot of these, this is my thing as well. A lot of the art, because some people, they say, oh, even though the music's whatever negative messages, it's helping the black community in terms of it's making us money. Yeah. However, how I see it as, it's not really, because a lot of the record labels behind it are owned by like white people, etc. So they're a lot of the ones who's pushing that sort of message and that. And a lot of the people, when they buy a lot of their clothing and that, it's not really from black-owned brands, etc. So a lot of the money doesn't really go back into the community. And one of the things how I discovered this recently, I was watching a program on like a news channel. Now, what he shared today in America, so everyone knows in America there are millions and millions, so many black artists over in America. A lot of them, they do rap and they talk about a lot of, like I said, negative messages, but they're very rich. Everyone knows that. Now, they said in America, when it was slavery, black people, they own 1% of the wealth in America. Oh. So now, fast forward to 2020, they said black people only own 2% of the wealth in America. So my thing is that if all those artists who are super rich, making so much money from the music, if a lot of their money was going back into the black community in America, the black people would have owned much more than 2% of the wealth. So it shows that a lot of money that they're making isn't even going back in the community. And even now, like in the UK where we live, we can see a lot of the artists who make this sort of music, they themselves, and maybe some of their friends, maybe if they bring them in, have a lot of money. They made money. Yeah. But when we look at the community investment those people have made, I say to people, where is it? a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, they haven't really made any community investment. So I said, for example, they could set up law firms to help a lot of the people that are black that being arrested unfairly. They can set up tuition centers for the kids. So many things that they could do, because
yeah,
the way I see is, I know they didn't want to be role models. Of course, you wanted to make music, get money, fame. That's just normal. That's why you made music. You wanted people to hear it and like it. You didn't want to be a role model, obviously. But unfortunately, in today's society, when you become any type of celebrity, you do become a role model.
yeah.
People do look up to you. That's just how society is. If I go and even if I went on a show and I did stupidity and a million people watched it, it would mean that I'm a role model, because all those people, they love me. So a lot of the artists, I say, they're role models. So I'm just saying that they need to to step up, do positive messages, do more things for the community, and I think that would really do a lot to help young people, and especially a lot of them, the young black people, to look up to them. I really do think so.
I 1,000% agree with that. We definitely need more artists speaking out, sending out more positive messages. I'm very lucky because the Best in Britain artists and Let the Youth Live artists that I have are doing me proud. They're doing us all proud right now, with the tracks that they're putting out over the last, I mean, they've been heavily going in, but actually, you know, they've got really positive, really bang on messages out there, to the point that I've made, I've got 2 top 10s now, Black Lives Matters. So I'll have to give you the link for that. All right, Abdul, because I think you're going to like that a lot.
What I say to the young people, there are some artists and some people who don't promote this sort of thing. However, what I have found is that a lot of the young people don't know them, and that isn't really pushed. So, for example, even on like Instagram, for example, a lot of the channels, even some of the channels where they are owned by like maybe black people that have music, they just promote a lot of these things, a lot of like this silly type of. I'm sorry, I can only call it silly type of music. I don't really know what to call it. Like,
it's not
when I work with young people, and I'm like, so you are young people, you're watching the video with 10 other kids with balaclavas on, saying they're going to shoot another black kid, but then you're saying to me Black Lives Matters. I'm like, guys, can you not see how this doesn't even make sense? Can you not see? I said to them, can you not even see how the community who's not black look at you and they think, what are these people even? This doesn't make sense. 1 minute these people are marching saying Black Lives Matters, now they're making videos saying they want to kill another, like, and
it doesn't make sense, does it? I know.
I
It really,
people,
really doesn't make sense.
I said it's one of those things that it really, it doesn't, I don't know. I said to people, it just doesn't make sense. And I said, especially now, the whole world is kind of looking at the black community because of what's happening all over the world. So I'm like, now all over the world, a lot of people looking at the black community. So a lot of people who aren't black, they're going on Instagram and they're going to any channel that they know maybe it's got that's black owned, that has a lot of black things in it. They're looking at the channel because they want to understand what is it black people are saying. So they say, I see all these black people marching and protesting. So they want to know, what is it? What do black people want? What have they gone through? What's their history? What's their pain? They want to educate themselves and they want to understand so they know how to respond and act accordingly, either adjust their behavior or maybe help out more. But then I said, sometimes they look for those things, but then they go on Instagram or YouTube, whatever, and when they get bombarded with all these channels promoting a lot of what? This type of music, etc., that all has negative messages in. And then I said, I can only imagine as a person who isn't black, seeing that, and then it's like, I've seen that, then for example, maybe they heard your channel, they seen another channel, and they get confused. They say, there's 2 channels promoting something about Black Lives Matter positive, but then there's other black people saying about killing each other and stuff, and they just get confused.
Yeah.
And then they kind of think, I want to help out, but I always say they kind of think, is it worth helping these people? Do they even want to help themselves? It's like people want to help people. So yeah, I say like when we see Oxfam, the adverts on TV, for example, all those sort of adverts, we don't mind giving money because we can imagine that there's people in Yemen or whatever, Syria, they want to help themselves.
Yeah.
If we thought, we're going to give money to people in Yemen who don't even want to help themselves, we wouldn't really want to help. So I said,
that's
that's
true.
how I see it. that's how I see the music. I say it sends out mixed messages. So many people, different communities listen to it. So I
Mm.
said it sends out mixed messages about the black community. It's like, on one hand, these people are saying this, but then they're doing that. And sometimes it's like, even the same people that are saying Black Lives Matters, then the next day they're releasing a song talking loads of negative
Negative.
messages to their own black community. So I
Yeah.
said, even kids who are like white or Arab or Oriental or Hispanic who listen to that person, they just get confused. They said, but yesterday he was saying Black Lives Matters and all the pain black people gone through. Now he's not even talking about police. He's just talking about himself and his friends. They're gonna go and run down another person or someone they've killed who's black. I said, people they get confused.
Yeah.
Always talking about he wanted to sell drugs in his own community. So it's like, is he? So then it's like, are you worried about police brutality, or are you worried about you yourself killing your own community through what you're pushing the drugs to them?
Yeah.
Like, I say, yeah. So that's my thing against that type of music that's pushed heavily that a lot of the young people listen to. Yeah, I think it's sad. It's very negative, but I do believe, like from hearing the artists on your channel, and that a lot of the people they have the skills and ability to turn it into something positive, and that would
Yes.
really, really be something good because they are artists and they do have skills and they have the ability to turn it into something positive. So I just hope they do that now, especially in this time when the whole
Right
world's
now.
listening,
Yes.
because now would be the time to turn it around positive, and that would really make a big impact and a big difference.
Yeah.
I really do believe so.
Yeah.
They're very, very from the young people in this generation, I would say the artists are probably the first most powerful influence on the kids.
I
And
believe
then I would say, secondly, footballers. They love football as well. A
true. Yeah.
lot of the kids love football. So, um, one of the things I always spoke about to kids, what would be good if a lot of them, the black footballers, and a lot of the other footballers who aren't black as well, who play with those black players, so obviously they like them and they're not racist,
Yeah.
they did a lot for their community as well and helped out their community. That would be really nice as well, because they have the money and they have a platform, and a lot of young people respect to listen to them because a lot of young people in the UK like football.
Yeah.
So if they could do something really good and they could be more vocal on these issues, and they could come to the community and invest in the community, not just football things,
Right.
football, but they can be like, government are not funding youth centers here, but we are going to open a youth center for everyone to come to. Do you understand? But what we will do, and in our youth center, we'll have a lot of programs that will help all young people, but it will help to educate people. So there are educational programs, so even the kids who come there who are not black, they can understand sort of like black history and stuff that isn't taught in school. They can understand that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They can have a place they can get books about it, because I believe the footballers have powerful influence and they have the money to step those sort of products up in the community. That'll be really, really good.
Yeah, no, you're spot on with that. Like they are, the kids do look up to the footballers, don't they? And
Yeah,
the rap.
they do. They, they,
So I
they,
think,
They do. I think sometimes the parents and people they get upset. Like for example, me and myself, because I'm Muslim, so as Muslim people, like we have obviously the imam, who's like the priest. So we always want the young people to look up to him the most, or the parents the most. However, the reality is that the kids, they don't. Most of the kids in Britain, if you ask them who do you look up to the most, is what he said, the rappers and the footballers.
yeah,
Not a pair. So those people are the two people that could make a big difference. Who I believe now they're not. And what I say to a lot of people is that a lot of people who promote like these footballers and these musicians that do that type of music, etc. I said that you need to hold them to account. You like all their videos, you like all the footballers, you pay for their matches, so you should be holding them to account. You should be messaging like on their Instagram,
really.
Twitter, and speak up, do more, do
Yeah.
positive music. Come on, you're a footballer.
I
Come to
think
the community, talk to
I'm
the
gonna
kids.
be getting onto them now, Abdul.
Yeah, no, no, no. I honestly
I
believe.
really am.
You know what it is?
Hmm.
I think that I always say that people, a lot of the footballers and the musicians, they have money and the fame, but remember, their money and fame comes essentially from the community
Yeah,
because they're
true.
celebrities.
Hmm.
So obviously, the only reason they got the sponsorship, for example, from Nike or whoever, because Nike said, "Well, a lot of people in the community like you. You have a big following." So I said that a lot of people don't realize they only see the footballers and the artists of having that they have the power. I said, not really. You have the power. I said, if you put a lot of pressure on them and you say to them a lot, I don't want you to make this music, and we're not going to promote you and buy you if you do this sort of music, they will change. They'll be forced to change. And you say to the footballers, look, we want you to do more and say more, and if you don't, we're not really going to be like buying your shirts as much. They will.
Yeah.
They listen. I say people power is actually a real thing. But I
Yes.
said a lot of the people are too complacent, and they say, "Oh, but I wish they would do more." I'm like, "But you can make them actually do more." I think I said that if I was a footballer and I went to my Twitter account and I've got like 200,000 messages telling me to speak up on Black Lives Matters or do more, I'm gonna do
You're
it.
gonna have to,
I'm
isn't it? Yeah.
bombarded. If I'm person, I make drill.
Uh,
Then I go on Instagram and I've got all these messages for all these people telling me they want
freezing.
me to
Hang
make
on.
more positive music. Yeah, I just think they would. I really do think they would.
Yeah, no, I do as well, definitely. So you just froze up for a little bit
Oh
there.
no. So I
Did
just
you
want to say one
finish?
thing, just in case I forget, that today is Black Pound Day. And I saw that
Yeah,
everywhere.
I'm gonna,
So I just thought today, if you're gonna buy anything, try to support black businesses and buy from them. I thought that was a really, really good initiative, Black
yeah,
Pound Day, so we can try to help black businesses because it's difficult for black businesses, one, get customers because we know obviously some of the racism, so some customers don't want to go there anyway. But also as well, just to get the loans up in the bank can be a bit more difficult because of like some of the racism involved, etc. So I thought that was a good initiative, Black Pound Day today. So if you want to buy anything, try to look for black businesses. Sorry to say that. I just wanted to put it in
yeah.
there.
No, I'm fully supporting, and I think it should be like an everyday thing. To
Yeah.
be
Well,
honest.
I
Yeah,
messaged them and I said to them what they should do. They should try to make Black Pound. So Black Pound Day be a monthly initiative. So they should have every month on the same day where
yeah,
they promote a lot of black businesses. They promote black businesses and they encourage people to buy a lot from black businesses. And I
yeah,
think even a lot of people who aren't black, if they knew a lot about them and they were offering good products, they'll buy it from them. Because at the end of
yeah,
the day, consumers are consumers.
yeah.
If the
I'm
man's
going to be
white, black, or
posting
Asian,
mine up later because I've got loads of black
yeah.
businesses who are
I
doing.
really do think that's I thought that was such a good initiative.
Yeah.
And another thing that I heard that unfortunately wasn't able to do was a man called 50 Man March. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yes, I was going to talk to you about that. Are you going there today or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Today I can't go because unfortunately I've got to do some work with my family. But when I spoke to the Chris organizer and I told him it's such an excellent initiative, and he asked me where I live. I told him the borough, so hopefully we'll be able to do something with him another time, or when he does another one, I'll be able to go to it. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that initiative up. So anyone who doesn't know, 50 Man, what the 50 Man march is, that they want to go to every single borough in London and they want to invite 50 different men to meet up there in those boroughs, and they'll advertise the dates, etc. And you go there and then you go and talk to the young people, the young
Hmm.
youth, especially a lot of the young black youth on the street. I think they're going to do it today in Tottenham, I think.
Yeah, I think it's Tottenham Hale,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Tottenham
Two
Herald, they're going to
o'clock.
meet at the train station at
Yeah,
2 o'clock.
yeah.
So I thought that was really, I forgot, I think it was Chris, I don't know his surname, I forgot his name.
Chris Preddy. Yeah,
Chris Preddy,
he's
yeah. So
another one too.
I think that is a really, really good, I think those two initiatives, Black Pound Day
Hmm.
and the 50 Man March, they're real initiatives that we need more of them in the community because they are actually taking this energy and actually doing something really, really good with
Yeah,
it.
really positive, really
rather than having,
powerful. Yeah.
rather than what we had in Brixton, taking
Uh,
energy and doing something completely different with it.
but they
Which
should
is,
have turned the music off.
yeah, well, yeah, like, do you know what? The thing in Brixton, like, I spoke to my mum about it, my thing about it is this, is that that's another example of where people are all over the world looking at the black community, saying yes, help them, and then are like, what on earth are you doing? So
Yeah.
it's like if you want to have a street party and dance in the street, you want to have that. People get that. You've been in lockdown, you're young. People understand that.
Yeah.
Then people also understand that okay, the police might come to say you can't do it anymore because of social distancing, etc. So then I know you can get upset, but just it's better just disperse at that point
Yeah.
rather than you start smashing all the police cars up and everything like that. That doesn't really make sense. I think it kind of meshes up the whole idea of Black Lives Matters
Kind
and
of
kind of it helps.
counteracts, isn't it?
yeah, and it helps people that push the racist agenda to say, well, look at these people, look what they do. They are out of control. So this is the reason why we are racist to them and we dislike them. And then I said afterwards, then like the people, like what we went to before, the violence, stabbing each other, and because I heard of stabbings and shooting, etc. All of that, I think it was unnecessary, and especially probably if you ask most of these people there who are black, like all
You're
black people,
freezing
like
again.
yeah, we support Black Lives Matters. We support Black Lives Matters, but then we're in the street acting like this. When they were doing that, they were acting like the racist hooligans who went to Central London. So,
I think you're frozen again.
oh, so can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you just kept freezing.
Oh, sorry, I don't know if it's a signal. Sorry.
Go,
No, I was saying that a lot of them, when they were behaving, like in the Empire, how they were behaving no different to the racist hooligans who went to Central London. That's how people are going to see it. So people will say you're no better than them. So I think it's kind of bad when that happens. I think right now, as black people, we need to kind of do the best we can of our moral character to try and win people over. Because there's a lot of people, I believe, who are in between racists. Well, so what I mean is they are kind of like, they listen a bit to the racist people they're saying, but they're also giving the ear to kind of the Black Lives Matter thing. So they're kind of caught in between. It's like, yeah, they have points. So kind of, those are the people I think we need to win over, convince. Because what I've always said, if you are going to tackle racism within like the Western world, the UK, etc., you need a lot of people who are already racist to kind of change their way of thinking. You need them to, because I said they are the barrier. I said the people who aren't racist, they're already giving you a foot and helping you out anyway.
yeah.
But they aren't the ones who are allowing the racist system to flourish. I said it's the people who are racist that significant like minority who have the power. Those people you need to convince, and those people you can only convince them by two things. I said education. So a lot of education about Black history, the pain, etc. And I said also having, I said, like a high moral character. I said a part of the racism is that I feel towards black people is that one, not knowing the history, but also a lot of times they have this idea where they say, oh, but look at you people, you're a mess. Look at what you're doing. You're killing each other. You're doing this. You're having broken homes, etc. So I think a lot of things we need to fix in our own community and also educate them. And I think that would really help bring an end to a lot of the racism here. And it would help to change a lot of racist people's mindset. Because some of the people, they only have racist mindset because they have a negative image of the black community.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's why the kind of the music and that type of music buys into that sort of negative, stereotypical image they have of us. Where I think we need to kind of show them that we are people that's equal to you in terms of like good moral character, etc., and educate them. I really think we need to do both things. I know some black people don't like that, and they want to say it's all only on white people. And I said the racism is from them, but I said part of the racism is negative perceptions of us. And some of the negative things that the racist people do say are true. We do have a lot of broken homes. We do, unfortunately, have a lot of black people who they maybe are involved in crime. Not all the black people in prison should be there, but we do have a lot of black people that did deserve to go to prison. They were doing the wrong thing. We do have a problem, like I said, with that sort of music, promoting criminality in our community. So I think those are the things. And we do also have a problem in our community, I believe, of a weird thing with black women where we, in one hand, empower them, but the other hand, degrade them. I personally think. I really do think that's an issue that the black community have to tackle. That one hand, we empower black women and we say good things about them, but the other hand, then we just promoting them as like twerking bimbos. Like, I don't know how else to say it. That's how I find
not right, is it? No.
No, like me, I've got 4 children, 3 daughters, and when they look at things in the black community, it's mixed messages. So on one hand, like for women, it's like, yeah, they're powerful, good black women, etc. But on the other hand, they're seeing all these things, and it's just like, oh, you're only good for like twerking, getting these long, colorful nails, acting all crazy. Like, so it's just like, it's like you're just like, even in the black community, even that I think we need to change because if you want other communities to respect us and that, I think first of all they need to see that we're respecting the value in ourselves. And I
Yeah.
think some communities, when they look at the black community, they say, "I'm confused by you guys. You want people to respect you and value you, which I get, which I'm down for, but then you yourself don't mind degrading and devaluing your own self and not respecting yourself." So it's like,
Mixed messages, isn't it?
yeah, and I always think that if I met you, you'd want me to respect you and value you. So for me to respect and value you would mean you need to behave in a certain way. If not, it's like, yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying to me. I should respect and value you, but then I'm like, but look at how you're acting. So I just think that the black community just send out more of a one like narrative thing, whereas I think now it's kind of mixed messages. So even like back to YouTube, back to Instagram, for example, sometimes I go on there and I see a page. One day they're saying black moms, black women, powerful. Then the next day, the same page, or even later on, they're posting the pictures like of a half naked black girl just twerking or whatever. And I'm like, guys, do you understand?
Yeah. It's just no
It doesn't
balance.
make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like, what are you promoting? If I'm a person who's not black and I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, what are you? So I'm thinking, okay, your community is saying value black women. All right, you want us to value black women. I get that. And then I go in and Charles later, and I'm like, you're posting pictures of just black women just twerking all over the page. So like, I went from listening to you to valuing black women to now devaluing them again on the same page owned by black people.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
like,
is, yeah, it's silly, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't make it doesn't make it just doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, part of the racism, like even from what I know about slavery and stuff, one of the things that the colonialists did, the colonial powers that they did to convince their nations that it was right to enslave black people was to first, when they went there, to push like a narrative um that these people, they shouldn't be valued because of all these negative things against them.
Yeah.
They're this, they're that, a lot of negative things. And I think that now how racism has continued is by that sort of mixed messages. So it's like, yeah, they have Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Okay, that's true. But then look, guys, they got these other people. Look at them. Look what
Yeah.
they're doing. And it's like, um, and I think one of the things is sometimes we say, oh, but that's not all of us. But then the racists, like how they spit it, they say, but you say it's not all of you, but look how much you are promoting these people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not really about that lifestyle and not for those people, why do you heavily promote that?
Yeah.
Why do you, why? Because that's the thing. It's like, yet we say, okay, that's not right, but then we promote sometimes things that are really, really negative. So, for example, I could say, okay, we want people to value us, respect us, all right. So then a racist person says, oh, but look at them, they just love smoking ganja or whatever, yeah? So then they're like, no, 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 we don't. But then they're like, a lot of time you promote that in your community.
Yeah.
You're promoting that sort of thing. So I'm like, we have to just have one thing. Are we promoting positivity all the time? Or are we promoting negativity? And if we're promoting negativity, it doesn't mean people should be racist to us, but we can't blame them for having negative things of us. We can't really, I think that if we want the people to see us in a positive light, we have to do more to promote the positive messages and the positive people.
Yeah.
And in that, for example, a lot of the kids, like if there's someone out there who's like a black lawyer or those sort of things, do we really push those things in our community? I would say not really. Most of the time, we push musicians and footballers to the forefront to our kids. We don't really push like black lawyers, black doctors. So other people look at our community and they say, you say about positive things, but people in your community who do positive things, you don't even push them. You don't even hold them on a high pedestal. Like now, in this situation you are, but prior to this,
yeah,
where were those? You didn't give those people voices and platforms to talk to encourage young people to do that. The only voices and platforms you gave is people that want to hang their trousers down below the ankles and wear a big chain. You didn't give a voice to those other people. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Like, yeah, I just believe, yeah, we have to put it. And I think also, as black people, even like myself, we need to educate ourselves a lot. Because a lot of times, for the black community, we say, oh, but look, the white people need to educate themselves on black history, our pain,
Yeah.
our suffering. But the reality is, unfortunately, obviously, due to obviously the schooling, etc., a lot of black people ourselves, we are not educated ourselves really on our history. So before we can educate other people, we need to educate ourselves a lot on our history, etc. Because we can't expect another race to educate themselves. Yeah, they could, but in reality, that doesn't really happen.
No.
What happens most of the time with education is that a race will educate themselves, and then they will educate the other people about their race. We shouldn't really expect white people just to magically educate themselves all about black history. I think
Yeah.
we ourselves need to learn about that and try to push more as well for the government in schools to teach more about like black history, not just slavery, but prior to slavery, after slavery, about inventors, and then we ourselves need to teach white people about that as well, and Arab people, Asian people, and then I think that will also be a good thing. Yeah, because sometimes, for example, a person might say, "Look, I'm white, I've got black friends, I want to know more about black history and that," but even their black friends don't really know about it
No.
themselves to teach them.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think,
yeah, I hadn't really thought of it like that. But yeah,
yeah,
I think you're right.
I think that that's one thing that we need to really, really, that as a community, we need to educate ourselves. And I think also part of racism comes from people not mixing together. What I've found from young people, uh, when there's no racism, is when the kids all mix together. So because the children mix together, they don't really have that racial things. So white person's cool with the black kid, cool with the Arab kid, cool with the Hispanic kid. They all mix together.
Yeah,
As adults, we're not so good at mixing. I think in our teens and younger years, everyone mixes more together.
yeah. No, it's
So the
true.
culture.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
after that, we don't mix. And I said um, to the black community, we need to try to mix with other people more. But I said, before we can even mix with the white community, we need to, as a community, be able to show that we're mixing together ourselves. I
yeah.
said, even as black people, I personally don't think we mix together. So I'm from Barbados and Jamaica, my background. Now, in my household, most of the people who we mix with from similar Caribbean. So we wouldn't even mix with that many people that would be African. And even like even the African people among themselves, for example, you don't really get like loads of Somalian people mixing with like Nigerian people, for example.
Yeah, true.
So my thing is, I say to black people that before we say to like one of the things we need to do that's racism mix, we need to mix with white people, and that's it. Because from mixing with people, then it breaks down all stereotypes because then they see you, they know you, that if
Exactly.
what I thought about you people isn't really right. But I said that before we can encourage them to mix with us, we need to be able to mix together ourselves.
Yeah.
Because the first thing, if I was a person and I was a bit racist, I'd be like, so you're saying I should mix with you, but you can't even mix with your own people? Nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll say first you mix with your own people first, and then you tell me to mix with you. So I think that we need to, as a black people, encourage ourselves to mix more. Because even a lot of times, like in the black community, sometimes people see themselves as separate. So when I went to school and there was a lot of Caribbean kids, a lot of African kids, etc. in school. Now in school, we all spoke together, but we all see ourselves as like individual, different. So we'll say that we're Caribbean, you're African. Even Africans will be like, yeah, we're kind of like West African, they're East African. So
Yeah.
all those divisions. Whereas when we went to school, there was a lot of like Asian children as well, because what school's like mixed, like half black, half Asian. The area was. There's a few white kids, but most of the majority of the children are either black or Asian. The Asian children, they didn't really have this thing. So even though obviously they joke at Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, but they did see themselves as one community, sort of in one group, which I
Yeah.
thought helped them, and it helps them as when they're adults as well to make money and stuff. And I think the black community, whether
Needs.
we like, whether we fractured ourselves, we're not the best at mixing, and I think we need to be better at mixing together, so we can encourage other people to come and mix with us to learn about our culture, etc. Because I'm just thinking, you can't just expect white people to want to come and just mix with you, and they don't know you. And the first thing they'll say, well, yeah, I want to mix with you guys, but you guys don't even seem friendly. Why don't you seem
Yeah.
friendly? Because you don't even mix together yourself. So if you're not friendly among yourself, it's like, are
So
you
we
even
need
going to
to
be
sort
friendly?
out that, don't we?
Yeah.
Something we need to
So
address,
I
definitely.
think that the one good thing about this whole situation, the George Floyd thing, the two things that's come from it that's actually good from a sad situation. I think two good things have come from it. One, the awareness that a lot of people are realizing about the racial injustices towards Black people,
Yeah.
Black history, and also a sort of Black community awakening, where we realize, okay, we
That's
have a lot of people in our
wonderful.
community, and we really, really, really need to sort our own community out. Yes, racism is an issue, but part of the racism is the negative perceptions on us, and some of the negative perceptions are based on facts about us. We need to actual change
There's
and
something
sort
we
out.
need to do.
And
Yeah.
and part of the racial like structure, that there is a racist structure and a racist system out there that holds us down. But however, I think Black people realize if they work together, come like the Black Pound Day, we can sort of overcome some of these hurdles. But not
Yeah.
as individuals, we can't. But when we work together,
As a
united,
unit. Yeah.
yeah. And then when we united, like I think a lot of Black people realize, other people they like it and they come to help our community. Because what
Yeah.
I've seen now, so many people who are not Black, who are Asian, who are Arab, who are Hispanic, who are white, they've come to help our community. And what they like now is the unity. And they say, I like that Black people united in that thing. And I say, people, they find that empowering, they like it. When they see Black people like fraction and stuff, it's like, yeah, I want to help, but it's kind of, they think, who do I help? Which part? Now they just say, oh, it's Black community, want people together. Yeah, I want to help you guys. I want to help fight
Yeah.
for equality, blah, 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 all these things. I want to educate myself.
Yeah.
And now,
So
and
that's
now
good.
we're pushing that education. Like before this, prior to this, even me, myself, a lot of us, as much as we say white people should educate themselves, we wasn't educating ourselves. And we was not pushing on any platform, anything to do with like Black history, most of us towards white people. We wasn't. That's the truth. Like most white people, we say, if you have friends who are Black, you say, do your friends say anything about Black history? Were they trying to educate you once? They were like, nah, they wasn't.
Yeah. No, because I
They wasn't.
haven't along the way either. So yeah,
Yeah.
make
But,
you
but,
right.
but mo- there's so many people who aren't Black, who mix with a lot of Black people, but then Black people say they should educate themselves on history and about our pain and suffering. But even a lot of those people who do mix in our community, they say those conversations I've never had with Black people. The Black people around me, they never had this. They never said, to me, oh, come sit down the side. Let me take this book out. Let me share something about Black history, or let's watch this program, or watch a program together. Then, or say watch this YouTube link. A
Yeah.
lot of us in the Black community, I find we've kind of like being docile. So now what's happened is a lot of us are being responsive. We're responding to the situation, but it's just after the situation, we need to keep doing more and keep up the momentum and keep up.
Yeah.
Because now what I realize is that a lot of people, they've been dying for this knowledge. They've been dying to know about Black people's community struggles because from afar, it's like they've seen some things and they thought, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
However, I don't think they've ever had access to all this information. So now you see a lot of people that are lapping up the information, they're happy. And they're like, do you know what? I always thought there was racial injustice, but I didn't know. But now you're showing me the statistics, the facts. Now I know, yes, Black people are wrongly in prison more than white people. Now I'm gonna help you. Before I
Yeah.
used to just think it, but now you're actually pushing these things out into like the wider arena. I've got this information.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to
That's
do
good.
something about this information. I think that's one of the things that we really need to do. Keep up the momentum, pushing the information,
Mm.
the knowledge, trying to mix together, trying
Our
to better our
live, our
community.
live's going to cut off soon, Abdul.
Okay.
Right?
Well, thank you so much for having me on here.
You have done us proud. I tell you, the way you've broken everything down. There's a lot
Thank
of
you.
gems there, so I want to save this live.
Thank you. I'm humble.
Just
Thank you.
wanted to talk quickly about One People, One Nation. Can you give
So
us?
one people, one nation. What it is, it's just me by myself. People think it's an organization. It's not. It's in that moment. I said one people, one nation. In that moment, after I spoke, and I tried to promote that as a hashtag because I believe that's the cure to conquering racism. I believe, I said, people ask, what is it about? One people, one nation is about Black people being united together. Now, there's been a big thing about like LGBTQ community, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, no. What one people, one nation is about all Black people. Every single person in the world that's Black, no matter their religion, their sexual orientation, standing together saying racial injustice to us is wrong. And then standing with other people who are non-Black say we are united black people, and we want you to join our community, to be with us to fight against this oppression, and that makes us one people, one nation together, fighting for a good cause. I think too often we're fractioned, disunited, and we're like, yeah, but I'm Muslim, you're Christian, or you're gay, I'm bisexual. I'm like, guys,
All
all
about
we're saying now,
unity.
everyone now stand together who's black, because we all of us discriminating against because of our skin color. You know that, we're going to fight for that. Then anybody else who's not black, you want to join us and help us, please do. And we appreciate that, and we stand with you. All together, we are one people, one nation.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah.
And thank you for
Thank you so
joining me,
much.
right? Have a
Thank
blessed
you. No
rest
problem.
of your
Thank you. No
day.
problem. Have a nice
Right?
day. Thank you
Big
so much.
up. All right.
Thank you. I'm so
Take
humble.
care.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.